Hey everyone, this is Daniel and this is our 24-25 safety plan. This comes in a video because during pre-planning, rather than walking through the entire safety plan, we want to use that as a time for you guys to ask questions about the safety plan if they come up. One of our SROs will be here as well to help answer those questions, but we're going to go through this just so you have sense. This also helps me if we have a new employee who comes in, we can show them this video so that they get a sense of the safety plan as well. All right, so let's dive in. The first thing, this is, you have a copy of this in your pre-planning folder. This is online. You have a copy in your red folder, which lives in your red bag, which should be with your class at all times. The first thing that I'll mention here is deviations from these plans can and must be made if common sense calls for it. Ultimately, this is the plan we follow. These are the processes and procedures. That being said, if you feel as the adult in charge of your kids that something needs to be done with your kids, that's what you need to do. It's hard to plan for every eventuality. All right, as we go through, we have some general information, like I said, the red bag that you have to travel with you throughout the day, the specials, playground, cafeteria, etc. This is a great place to keep all of these supplies. One of the things that will be in it, you can choose to keep it in, you can choose not to, is a roll of garbage bags. It does get bulky and it is a lot to carry around. However, if we ever have to take the kids outside and it's raining or it's really cold, you can rip holes in those garbage bags, little head holes and little arm holes, and they become great ponchos and they can serve body heat. So that's up to you if you will have those in your emergency bag for the long haul or not. We also have a few emergency kit locations around the school. Here's what's in them. We have a safety team who will review these plans yearly just to determine if any changes need to be made. We have several different teams of people. Our emergency response team, and you can see the names down below. These are people who are responsible for coordinating the evacuation or coordinating the reunification if we had to leave campus, speaking with the media. And these are not classroom teachers. As we continue to go through, standby personnel, again, not homeroom teachers, but folks we may call upon to help out as needed. Who's responsible for what? Preparedness and planning. That's largely myself and the safety team for looking over it. Prevention and mitigation, and again, you can read through this individually, is largely myself, the A team, Daniela and her team, making sure that the building is taken care of. Response, this is who's responsible for what. For example, notifying 911 or identifying students and visitors in the building, et cetera, et cetera. Recovery, there you go again. Transportation. Now, this little item right here, this is actually a great bit of information. On a day-to-day basis, the simplest things are the things that will keep us the most safe. We need to wear our name tags. GCPS folks need to have their badges with them. Visitors need to go to the main office or the front vestibule. They're going to have a sticker. This is important. If you see an adult that you don't know without a sticker on them, without a name tag or something on them, please stop them. You can be pleasant about it, but please escort them to the front office. We need to make sure, don't just direct them to the front office, but make sure they get there. Even if your class is with them, take a moment and walk them there. And again, all exterior doors will be locked during the school day, except for arrival and dismissal. And that's a big one. We do not prop doors open at Level Creek for two reasons. One, safety, but even before the kids come, even if there's no one in the building, little critters love to run in open doors because this is a warm, safe environment. So please don't prop doors open. All right, we're going to get into the main nuts and bolts of this security plan, safety plan. Each one of these pages is set to be on its own. So this first page, this is the fire evacuation page, and it's a one-pager. It's made that way specifically so that a substitute could look at it and quickly read what they need to do. What you as a homeroom teacher needs to, or any teacher with kids, is follow these directions up top. And then this part down below is for all of the folks without kids. What is their responsibility in this case in a fire evacuation plan? And you'll see as we move down, a campus evacuation plan, a severe weather plan, they're set up the same way. And they're set up to be a one-pager. In some cases, like the campus evacuation, maybe a two-pager. So let's dive into the fire evacuation plan. You have a fire map that's in your red folder. Please make sure that map and the severe weather map are both posted in your classroom. And I would use a Sharpie or highlighter or something to specifically direct where your kids are going so it's personal to them. So these are the steps that you will follow. Teachers, very important that the kids are silent as they leave the building. We want to make sure that we can easily hear communication. So silence is important. Practice that from day one. When you get outside, you're going to get to your rally point, wherever that may be. And you're going to do one of two things. You're either going to hold up, and these are both in your red folder, your green card or your red card. Your green card means I have all of my kids who are supposed to be here. Your red card is I'm missing some students. Let me talk about that real quick. If you're missing a student, that is a student who is at school, but not with you. If they're absent and you know they're absent, then you don't have to worry about them. You know they're home. You know they're safe. They never came to school. So a red card might be you sent folks to the bathroom, to the media center. They were running an errand, something where they're not with you. Some other teacher will pick them up. They will hold up a red card because they have more students than they should. And what we do with the walkies in the background is communicate with each other and say, on the front hill, I have 2 students from Mr. Skelton's class, and we communicate to make sure that we're missing. And they'll let Mr. Skelton know the front hill has your 2 kids. You know where your kids are, you feel good, your green card is ready to be held up. They feel good, they know where the kids should be, and it all works out in the end. At the end of this, and at the end of this document, you have an emergency student report. You will fill that out every time that we have a drill or a real event. So please make sure you do that. I look through those after every event just to see if there's any feedback, things we need to change up. Some of it we can, some of it we can't, but a lot of the changes in this plan over the years have been because of that emergency student report. So thank you for doing that. All right, so campus evacuation plan. This could be things like a bomb threat, a gas leak, hazmat, something that we need to get off of campus. We start this out as a fire drill. First thing, get out of the building. And then after the same thing, red and green card. What we'll do at that point is evacuate to one of 2 staging areas and then one of 2 reunification areas. The 2 staging areas are Abbey Hill Road, which is just the front of the school, Tench Road. You take a left, and it's that first neighborhood street on the right. Or if that doesn't work, we'll walk all the way down to Sims Lake Park. The reason we go to those 2 areas, those are areas that buses can get in and pick up our kiddos. Now, once the buses get there, they're going to take us to one of 2 reunification areas. First would be Gwinnett Church. Second would be down the road at Sugar Hill Church. Now, this is important to note. The Kewanee PD has let us know this is not a quick process. From the time that we left the building until the time that we got the last kids to Gwinnett Church or Sugar Hill Church, at least an hour would have gone by. So during this time, you would put on your how to comfort and entertain the kids and make sure that you're keeping order, because it will take a while. We have transportation numbers. Please don't share these with parents, but this is if we needed to get in touch with some of the transportation folks just to make sure buses were on the way or determine where they were as they're getting here. We have information about what would happen if students were on their way to school, or if they were leaving school, or if this happened at the very end of the day as half of the buses have already gone, and then we need to evacuate campus. We can't take it for granted that this will be during the middle of the day. And just more information about the reunification sites. All right, Our next one up is our severe weather plan. Now, there are two main headings under severe weather. This is kind of the tornado drills. We have tornado watches and tornado warnings. A tornado watch means that the conditions are favorable for a possible tornado. This could last hours. A tornado warning means there is a sighted tornado that has touched down somewhere near us, and we need to shelter in place. So again, a little bit more detail during a tornado watch, students stay inside the building. Instruction continues because it could last for quite a long time. Trailers would come in. We have, fingers crossed, very few folks in the trailers this year. During a tornado warning, all instruction stops. Students go to their shelter locations. They put their backs against the wall, lean forward, cover their necks. And this drill could last many minutes as well. We have had this actually happen at Level Creek, and it was during dismissal. So again, it won't necessarily be right in the perfect time of the day. And again, we'll use red cards and green cards as we go through this. For those folks who don't have students with them, these are their duties and responsibilities. We also have, and this is on the severe weather map, this is a listing of which classes during severe weather would go where. Which classes, most of these are classes with windows. What classroom would they relocate to if they needed to during a tornado warning? And again, please highlight these areas on your severe weather map. So lockdowns, again, there are two types of lockdowns. We have the big mechanical voice, I think we call him Steve, who will let us know that we're going into a hard lockdown. And any student in the any teacher, very important, any teacher in the building can initiate a lockdown. Two different types. A soft lockdown means there's someone in the neighborhood. The threat is outside the building. Again, this could last many hours. This happened when I was a teacher at my school. Lasted quite a few hours. An SRO will come and hang out with us at school if there's something going on out in the community. We're going to continue teaching. The only difference would be anyone out in the trailers would come inside for that. A hard lockdown, on the other hand, means that there's a threat inside of the building. And we practice this drill twice a year. You're going to lock your door. You're going to have your kids shelter in place. You're going to hide so that no one can see you through the windows. When it's over, either one of the administrators or one of the SROs is going to unlock and open your door. We started that procedure last year. Once that happens for the drills, your drill is over, but please don't start sending your kids out because we have to do that room by room by room. And if it were a real event, you would want to keep your kids in there until we made some type of an all call. But again, we're going to come to your door. You're going to see a police officer or one of the administrators unlock your door for the drills and if it were a real event. And again, for those not with kids, what to do in a soft lockdown. In a hard lockdown, no one's doing much of anything. Everyone in the building is sheltering in place. So the administrators, if it were a real hard lockdown, will not be walking in the hallways because SROs and police officers are going to be coming in and looking for the bad guy who's here. And there we go. And I just saw something I need to update. Thought I got them all. This is our missing student plan. So for this, if a student goes missing, teachers, if you notice a student goes missing, your job is to notify the front office. And then we have a whole procedure that we go through to search the building, to go out onto Tench Road, to make sure they're not wandering away, to find that kiddo. And we go through it very methodically. So those who don't regularly have kids, counselors, I know you do have kids, but counselors, coaches, folks that aren't always with a class, please do read through the processes, because everyone who is not with kids at that time, or everyone who can get away, will be helping to find that child, specifically those with walkies. That's our best communication tool. We do have our Centegix cards. Now, these are those little credit card sized white guys with a little button on it, and we'll practice those again at the beginning of the year. There are two types of presses. There's the 3-button press, which will alert a bunch of people at the school as for a very serious emergency, medical or otherwise. And this is a list of the folks who will come. So myself, the assistant principals, Jenny Smithers, Nancy Hartz, Daniela, Robin, a whole bunch of people will all get alerts and we will all come running. So you can certainly press the button, but it needs to be for a good reason. When in doubt, if you can just hit the buzzer in your room, that's the preferred method of getting in touch with the front office to get someone to come to you. But if you really need something, the 3-button press will work. Now the 8-button press, or 8+, 8, 9, 10, 30, you just keep hitting the button. That initiates a hard lockdown at the school. Again, any staff member with Centegix can initiate a hard lockdown. You just want to make sure that there's a good reason for it. But if you're hitting it that many times, there's probably a good reason for it. No one will respond to you, though. Again, that will initiate a hard lockdown. Everyone will begin sheltering in place, and the police or the school resource officers will be the first ones to sweep around the building. That'll go right into a hard lockdown. And we'll get a chance for you guys to ask questions about all of this at pre-planning. The last thing on here, this is the emergency student report, pretty basic form of what to fill out, the type of drill or event, any other folks with you, who is absent, who is not with me. Those are the ones you would hold up a red card for. If they were at the media center or going to the restroom, they're just not with you. Or another red card if you have any extra kids with you. Those are the two reasons for red card. And then this little thing down here, if you have any concerns, suggestions, way to make a drill better or things more safer, or just some things like, hey, my area, the kids were talking a lot. Can you please reset those expectations, Mr. Skelton? You can totally do that. So if you see something that we can improve on, this is the place to put it. So that is, in summary, our emergency safety procedures. Again, those handle kind of the big issues, but deviation from these plans can and must be made if common sense calls for it. That's up to you. You guys have always done a great job keeping our students safe. We'll do the same thing this upcoming year. And any questions, bring those to pre-planning. We'll get them answered. All right. Thanks for your attention. Y'all have a great day. Bye, guys.